Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today's going to be tip 110. And I'm going to say, wow, this one is one I stumbled on totally accidentally this morning, but it really kind of shed some light on some stuff that happened to me a few years back. And I stumbled on it because Doc V currently has the challenge open, and I listened to some homework that he assigns us every day this morning because I go live in his group at night to talk about it. But it's kind of about foods and what we eat and how it impacts our bodies. And boy, did this really kind of send me in a direction I didn't even think about this morning. And it turned on a major light bulb for me from an experience I'll explain in a couple minutes. But what happened is he has an article. Hi, Dolly. The doc has today's homework for our transformation challenge, which is open to everybody. I kind of posted the link to it in yesterday's tip. But he's talking about foods and how it impacts our body and how we age and whether, we get cancers. And good morning, Dolly. So good to see you. I saw you last night and I get to see you this morning. So in his live this morning that I already watched, it was talking about foods and what foods we should introduce into our diet and how it will help make us healthier. And in this material, they kept bringing up cancer, and a lot of what I found over the years from multiple doctors of mine, you hear a lot about this word called free radicals, and then you hear about cancers connected to it. And it's come up so many times over the years. I thought, I'm going to just look up that word free radicals because it keeps getting connected to having the proper foods in our body so that our body can develop cells and atoms and all that crazy stuff. Hi, Joan, good to see you. So our body can produce the best possible cells and the best possible support system, which in this year of many sicknesses due to COVID, making a healthier body is in the forefront. It's been in the forefront for me for quite a while, but I just want to keep tweaking it and getting better. And I wanted to understand free radicals because I'm telling you for years now, I've had doctors telling me free radicals, cancer, so many other medical illnesses, and the way we eat fuels whether we get these diseases. And so I thought, I'm just going to simply try to understand what is this thing called the free radical. So I found articles in Medical News Today, and it was talking about how do free radicals affect the body. And I'm just interested in that because I wanted to know. And boy, did I get an aha this morning. Really kind of what it was telling me is that free radicals are atoms, and I know we've heard it, and this is going to sound complicated, but just kind of bear with that. It's part of the science, and I'm going to use the science to help me support continuing to be healthier in my food choices. And maybe this will help you to also do that. But really, basically, a free radical is an unstable atom in your body. And in order to understand an unstable atom, it kind of went into further explanation where it said that an atom is surrounded by a bunch of electrons, and the electrons orbit atoms in something called shells. Well, each shell that's surrounding that atom is full of electrons. My phone wants to update. If those shells that are full of electrons orbiting an atom, if for some reason something is off kilter and they're not completely full, it makes this kind of unstable and it will attach to another atom. So you got kind of a funky shape instead of like a natural look to it. It's unstable because it's not the recognized pattern. So that kind of helped me to understand, and there were a bunch of articles, but I don't want to go into a lot of detail because some people like that stuff, some people don't. I'm going to continue to study it because it popped up with a couple of things that medically I've heard of people having. So understanding this is just me. I love to learn. But basically, if the atom and the electrons around it inside their shells are all uniform and properly formed, that's a stable atom. if you have an atom that didn't have its proper formation and it attaches to another one, it's an unstable free radical. So that kind of explained to me what this thing is called free radicals. It's just an oddball atom floating around in your body. The problem with those is, as when we're younger, our body can take care of them and get rid of them. As we get older, our body is not as good, like anything else, it's not as good as managing those things and getting them out of our body. So what it was kind of talking about is, now that we know as we get older, we don't have the ability to fight that quite as much, they did a bunch of studies to try to find out what does these free radicals that keep building up in our body cause? What kind of illnesses are they causing? And they cause like central nervous system diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia, cardiovascular diseases from clogged arteries, autoimmune, which is rheumatoid arthritis and cancer, cataracts, changes in appearance for your skin and your hair, diabetes, and then things like Huntington's and Parkinson's. So over the years, I guess they've been doing tons and tons of studies. It's a new theory, but there are many, many, many studies on it that are existing. And now they've actually gone a step further, and this is something I've heard a lot about, and I'll research more later, but again, I'm not gonna bore you guys with it, but how these free atoms and mitochondria all connect up. And some people I know in my circle will know what mitochondria is, because that's something that we've all been kind of studying and looking at. Now, I think why this is important is that they're talking about, I wanted to understand what causes these free radicals to grow faster. What can I do to slow them down? They're natural, but now that I'm older, good morning, Ying. Now that I'm older, I just want to know some tools so that I can manage my contact with the things that might throw my body off kilter. So that's really basically just what I wanted to do. I wanted to understand it enough and then find where I can make it better in my own life. And free radicals occur naturally in the body, but there are things that can accelerate it. And they were saying, and I'm going to tell you a story in a minute, but the things that will accelerate it are toxic chemicals, pesticides, pollution, smoking, alcohol, and fried foods. Now, what I'm going to tell you guys about the free radicals that occur naturally in the body, like with this this study, I have firsthand experience with this, and it blew me away when I saw this morning because it explained something that happened to me a couple of years ago. And this is probably why free radicals have been interesting to me in mitochondria, because I've seen that word and I've seen it come up like with my family. And when this told me that free radicals occur and cause problems with your body, and it happens in the skin, it made me remember something that happened to me a few years ago. It's telling us toxic chemicals, pesticide, and pollution will cause that free radical damage in our body. Well, a couple of years ago, I have, and there are some, and everybody can live their life exactly how they want to live within the borders of their own property. But I do have a neighbor that does prefer poisons, and that's okay, that is her right. But she had oversprayed quite a bit into my property, and I didn't realize it. And one day I reached down to pick up a pool from the other neighbor that had gotten into my yard, and I walked it over and I put it in the other neighbor's yard. Well, I instantly broke out with welts on my hands, and I went to the dermatologist. It took 6 months of treatments to get rid of these chemical poisoning, because we tested them, and it was toxic chemical poisoning on my hands. And it was 6 months of welts to get in treatments to get rid of this poison that was on my hands from a pesticide on the lawn. And I thought, wow, this article about free radicals just explained that I'll have to be cautious. Like when I'm over there, I'm going to have to wear gloves. Everybody has to live their life to the best of their ability, but you can't force somebody else to see or to understand, but you have to protect yourself. So if you start running into issues, maybe do a little research and try to understand better, because it blew me away when I realized that there are so many things that we can be doing that are damaging our bodies. So again, just to briefly reiterate, Doc V's live in his challenge group right now, and he's actually talking about foods that will help promote better health and better immune. And it keeps popping up, this word free radicals. So today I just researched free radicals, and free radicals, kind of like I explained before, it's an atom, but an atom is surrounded by electrons. Electrons surrounding that atom are in things called shells. And these shells are supposed to be full of electrons. And once that entire sheet is filled and the atom is complete, it's considered stable. But if for some reason something is off in your system, it's unstable, it'll attach to another one. When you have two together, it's just unstable, and it's what's called a free radical. So that's what caused me to look into this a little bit. And that's when I found out that we have the ability to fight these free radicals when we're younger. As we get older, just like everything else, we lose the ability to fight it. So what you want to do is just recognize where there are opportunities that you can protect yourself and make sure that you're okay. And just to remind everyone, the areas where it says these free radicals, if they become abundant in your body as you age, will cause you problems, are central nervous system diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia, cardiovascular diseases from clogged arteries, autoimmune, which is rheumatoid arthritis and cancer, cataracts, changes in appearance, skin and hair, diabetes, and then Huntington's and Parkinson's. There's a lot of studies going on. This information came from Medical News today. Just to remind everyone, the free radicals occur naturally in our body, but the things that are absolutely known to accelerate it are toxic chemicals, pesticides, pollution, smoking, alcohol, and fried food. So if you're in contact with any of that, because you can only control your immediate environment, but if you're in contact, like for me, I know that if I'm on the one side of the property, I just have to wear gloves and be extremely careful, because she tends to mix like 3 different poisons, and you don't know what happens when that comes together. So I'm just forewarned, and I will be careful. And I just want to kind of give you guys that information. I was shocked when I read that. I had no idea. We all know that chemicals are not good for us. We know smoking is not good for us. We know alcohol is not good for us. We know fried food's not good for us. Anything in moderation, when we take it too far, it does cause us problems. But if you're starting to have some little problems medically, maybe there's some little thing you can do to tweak that will make your health better. Because it's all about having the best possible life and spending it with the people you love and having the most energy, and to protect yourself from what we've experienced in the past year and what we may experience in the coming years. I want to help you guys by anything I've learned on my journey. And I appreciate all that you guys shared with me last night in the live transformation group. You guys are amazing. I wish you the best possible day. And just protect yourself, and where you can, avoid toxic chemicals, smoking, alcohol, and fried food. If you're in contact with it, just try to protect your body so that you don't introduce more little havoc inside your body than what is naturally occurring. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys all more than you'll ever know. My best to you all. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you.